Payroll. It seems pretty simple, right? You just pay your people for the work they do. But what if I told you that this everyday task is actually hiding some pretty costly secrets? Come on, let's pull back the curtain and find out the real story. So let's just start with a really direct question, and I want you to be honest with yourself for a second. How many hours are you, or maybe your team, really sinking into payroll? And I don't just mean the time it takes to write the checks. I mean all of it. Well, if you're not quite sure, the American Payroll Association has an answer for us. And honestly, it's kind of shocking. They've found that businesses spend, on average, 130 hours every single year just on internal payroll. Think about that. That's more than 3 full work weeks spent on just one administrative task. So you see, payroll isn't just another item on your to-do list. It's an active time thief. It's quietly stealing hours that you could be putting into your strategy, into sales, or into coming up with your next big idea. And it's not just about the time either. Every single hour you spend on it, you're also running the risk of making a mistake, missing a deadline, or a compliance error that could cost you big time. And you know that feeling of being totally bogged down by this stuff? That's a completely valid feeling. As a business owner, you got into this to build something amazing, right? To serve your clients, to innovate, not to become a part-time payroll clerk. You absolutely deserve to be spending your time on what really matters to you. Okay, so what's the alternative here? Let's take a look at what actually happens when you hand this super complex, time-sucking task over to the experts. The people who actually do this for a living. And wow, the difference is pretty night and day. On one side, you've got the do-it-yourself approach. It's a huge time commitment. You're constantly worried about changing tax laws, and your focus is just pulled away from your actual business. But on the other side, with professional management, well, you get your time back, compliance is handled by people who live and breathe this stuff, and you get to focus on what you do best, growing your company. And here's what's really cool. Professional payroll management is so much more than just cutting checks. It's really a whole ecosystem of services that are designed to protect your business and support your entire team. Just look at the scope of it all. We're talking about tax filing, new hire reporting, integrating benefits, all these tricky little pieces that the experts just navigate for you so you don't have to. Let's zoom in on a couple of areas that tend to trip up businesses all the time: garnishments and deductions. Let's start with garnishments. This isn't just taking some money out of a paycheck. No way. This is a legal order, and it has to be managed with super strict rules and priorities. Getting this wrong can have some pretty serious legal consequences for your business. And then you've got pre-tax deductions for things like retirement plans or health insurance. These have to be processed perfectly, right from an employee's gross pay. That's before taxes are even calculated, to make sure everyone gets the right tax benefits. It's a delicate process. What I love about this is how it really shows you the whole puzzle. Every single paycheck is this unique combination of different pieces. Net pay, all the taxes, the deductions. That is a lot of moving parts to track. And to do it accurately, for every employee, every single pay period. Which naturally brings us to one of the biggest headaches for any business owner: compliance. Tax laws, labor regulations, they're constantly changing. Just keeping up can feel like a full-time job all by itself. But the pros? They approach this with a really clear system, and it's built on 3 pillars. First, they classify every employee correctly right from the start. Second, they make sure every single tax withholding is accurate based on the very latest rules. And third, they maintain the kind of meticulous records that let you sleep at night, knowing you're protected if an audit ever comes knocking. And get this isn't being done with a bunch of spreadsheets and calculators. Nope. Modern services use integrated tech that connects everything from time tracking to accounting directly to payroll. It automates the whole thing, which means no more manual data entry, and it just crushes the risk of human error. All right, so after all is said and done, what's the actual payoff? We've talked about saving time and avoiding risk, but what does the return on your investment look like in real, tangible numbers? Let's break it down. First up, time. By handing over payroll, business owners can get back up to 60 hours a year. That's a week and a half of your life back in your pocket to spend on strategy with your customers or, hey, maybe just with your family. So what do you do with those extra 60 hours? You put them back into growth. That reclaimed focus can translate directly to your bottom line, with the potential to add around $10,000 in extra income. And that's simply by redirecting your energy to what you're actually passionate about. This chart just sums it all up perfectly. The return isn't just one thing. It's the time you save, absolutely. It's the income you can gain, for sure. But it's also that third bar, the one you can't really put a price on, peace of mind. Just knowing that one of your most critical business functions is being handled correctly by experts, that's huge. So really, the bottom line is this. The ultimate benefit is a fundamental shift in your role as a leader. You get to move from being a manager of paperwork to being the driver of your business's growth and vision. And that leaves us with one final question to think about. Right now, in your business, is your payroll process a strategic asset that actually supports your team and your growth? Or is it an administrative burden that's just holding you back? The answer could change everything.